Hello, my name is Daryl and welcome to Safe Living. Today we're going to be covering government statistics and trends as it relates to the aging population, disability, types of disability, fall data, fall prevention. And the main reason for talking about this, as I mentioned in the previous video, it's really when we look at how we're going to modify our house and are we going to be reactive versus proactive. It's understanding this type of data that's really should give us a foundation and an understanding of why it is so important to start planning and making changes to our home so that we can make it safe for anybody entering our home. So let's begin. The U.S. government has done a great job in providing the statistics through multiple channels of information, all which are going to be highlighted here. If you take a picture of the QR code, it will take you directly to the website, but also listed in the description, you'll be able to see all the websites and where to be able to gain access to this information. But this first slide that we're going to be talking about is really the projections of older adults population from 2020 and what's projected. By 2060, nearly 1 in 4 Americans is projected to be an adult. And an older adult in terms of the government's definition is people at the age of 65 and older. The next slide that I want to talk about is the disability impacts of all of us as in the United States. So the CDC here pulled together statistics of people over the age of 18 with a disability. And we're showing currently that 61 million people in the United States live with some form of disability. With these statistics, disability versus health, adults living with disabilities are really more likely to be unhealthy than those without disabilities. So if we look at the obesity side, people with disabilities, 38.2% are obese versus 26.2% without a disability. 28% are going to be smoking versus 13% not smoking. 11.5% will have heart disease, 3.8% without disabilities, and have diabetes, 16.3% versus 7.2%. So again, these statistics are here. This slide here shows the percentage of adults with the functional disability types. 26% of adults age 18 in the United States have some type of disability, and 85% will develop it over a lifetime. But if we look at this breakdown, again, this is really important when we start to look at home modifications. 13.7% have mobility issue with a serious difficulty walking or climbing stairs. 10.8% have cognitive issues, which is a serious difficulty concentrating, remembering, or making decisions. 6.8% independent living have a difficulty doing errands alone. 5.9% of hearing, deafness or serious difficulty in hearing. 4.6% vision, and this is blindness or serious difficulty in seeing. And 3.7% self-care, difficult dressing or bathing. Again, this QR code will take you to the stats. Let's talk about the top causes of death age 65 plus. And again, this comes from the CDC. The number 7 top cause of death is unintentional injury. And out of that, the number 1 reason for that is falls. And this is also information that I got from STEADY, which is Stopping Elderly Accidents, Deaths, and Injuries. So there's a whole program on how to do fall prevention. But now we're starting to talk about fall statistics and what can we do to really help prevent and educate people to minimize fall risk. CDC puts, as I said, puts out great information. So This QR code actually takes you to this brochure by Steady, which again is Stop Being Elderly Accidents, Deaths, and Injuries. But whether you're old, whether you're young, fall risks remain. And, it's real important that we prevent fall risks as much as possible. But so, again, take a look at this information. It's really valuable. But every second, an older adult falls, and 36 million falls a year, 8 million injuries, 3 million emergency doctor visits, 950,000 hospitalizations, which result in 32 deaths. So is this something that we can be proactive on and being able to make some modifications in our homes? What Steady's predicting is, based on the CDC statistics, is we know that in 2018, there were 52 million adults over the age of 65. And by 2030, we're going to see 73 million. So based on those statistics, they're showing that 36 million falls per year for people over the age of 65, 8 million injuries is going to grow up to 52 million falls, 12 million injuries in the future. So one of the things that the CDC comes back is they've gone back and really looking at the common fall risk factors. And out of those risk factors, what are modifiable? What can we do to make our falls less riskier? And when it looks at that, we're gonna go over that. So right now, the first item that was listed is gait, strength, and balance deficit. So what can we do to make that better in our home? Second one is medications that increase fall risks. What are the side effects of medications? Again, this is where you got to talk to your doctors and really get a better understanding, or your pharmacists. And even if you look at the CDC information, you'd be amazed on how many people don't even ask when they get their medications what the side effects are and whether or not it is going to be a fall risk when you get home. Number 3 is home hazards. What can we do in our home to make things more safe? The next one is orthostatic hypotension, blood pressure, up, down swings, high, low. What can we do about that to prevent fall? Next one, as we said, vision problems, foot issues, inappropriate footwear, then vitamin D deficiency, they've listed this. Core mobilities, those people have multiple disorders. And so if you have a disorder A, a disorder B, if you have 2 disorders, anybody with 2 disorders are then comorbid with both. So they would have A and B. So this is what the CDC says are modifiable risk factors. These items here are things that we could do to prevent fall risks. Things that you can't prevent are your age. And the other thing you cannot prevent is if you've already fallen once before, your risk of falling again is significantly higher. So those are 2 things that are not modifiable at all. So the next thing we want to look at is consequences of falls among older adults. More than 95% of hip fractures are due to falls. Falls are the leading cause of traumatic brain injury. Fall and fall injuries increase the risk of nursing home placement, and fall death rates increased 30% between 2009 and 2018. Why am I telling you all this? As I mentioned in the previous presentation, we can either be in a reactive or a proactive mode when it comes to modifying our homes to make them safer for everyone. And what we're going to be doing in the series is going over some of the things that we can do and showing you resources and who you could get to help you out. But I'm just here to educate you in terms of what I see is the story that I'm trying to build in a journey that I'm trying to educate my friends and my family and my loved ones on why it's important to make changes and why we need to make things safer for everyone. So thank you very much for watching. Next video that we're going to be doing is going over the types of modifications that can be done based on surveys from the National Home Builders Association, AARP, as well as the National Kitchen and Bath Association. So there's a lot of statistics in there on what type of changes can we make to our homes to make things safer. So please subscribe, share this with anybody that you want. And if you hit the bell, the notification when the next video comes out, you'll know. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.